turn my fingerprint off. Anyway, let's just get right into it. It's a ramble, so let's just get right into it. So, first things first, I feel like I should, it's been a minute, alright? I've had people reach out to me like, are you dead? Like, are you alright? It's been 3 weeks, I know. I apologize. I know how stir crazy I go when my favorite content creators go MIA. But let me just introduce myself real quick for all the new people in our cozy community and all the new people that will come from this video being published. Hi, my name is Rachel, but everyone calls me Ray, and I struggle with my mental health. Okay, I'm not gonna make this ramble about that, but I just wanted to say that. So whenever I go MIA, 99.9% of the time, it's because your girl is spiraling, alright? And I'm the sort of person that I close myself off when I'm going through it, which means I disappear everywhere, okay? So, if chaotic rambles and sporadic bursts of energy where I do random things on a whim like Target hauls and, someone that goes MIA semi-frequently because they got a lot going on upstairs, sounds like your jam, stick around, okay? You won't be disappointed. Let's get into her. She smells so good. Hold on. Fun fact, I'm the sort of person, so I don't have on anything, but I didn't, why am I so shiny, mamas? Hold on. I didn't, I put moisturizer on right before I did this, and it's making my skin look a little oily, but that's fine. Fun fact, I'm the sort of person that when I'm drinking something, I don't like anything on my top lip. So I have on chapstick, and I'm just gonna use my hands, because I literally just washed them. I made my hot cocoa and washed my hands, because I'm a germaphobe, which I've always been. It's not since the pandemic thing, I am that germaphobe that literally carries hand sanitizer and wipes and stuff pre-COVID in all my bags and stuff, and I'm constantly wiping things down, and Mars and Virgo people, okay, I don't like dirt, alright? So, what was the point of me doing all this? Oh, I wipe off my top lip if I have something transferable on when I'm about to drink something, because you know how if you have on chapstick or lip gloss or lipstick or whatever, and you current setting. Let me know if you like it or you want me to go back to the old one. And I changed the setting because I was like, maybe when all these thousands of airplanes go by, it won't be so obnoxious. So I don't know if it's picking up that airplane, but we're just gonna push past it. So do you notice anything different? Do you? By the way, this mug is so cute. So it's like a sky blue and it matches my shirt. Oh my god. Oh my god. It matches my shirt. Oh, I'm living for that. It's a sky blue and it has gold lettering, and it says rise and shine. Rise and shine, rise and shine, rise and shine. And I just thought, I got it from Target, y'all know, my favorite store, and I thought it was so, oh, you can see the steam a little bit, or maybe my eyes are playing tricksies on me, like Colin would say. I just thought it was cute because I love the color blue. It's not specifically like my favorite color, but I love the color blue, especially like well, that's not really blue. I was gonna say especially like a turquoisey, tealish kind of blue. I know those are two different, turquoise and teal, but those aren't really true blues because they're mixed with what, like green. That's so good. So you probably didn't notice anything different or new. So I'll just tell you, your girl is missing her plant, not that one. But over there, I had with the candle, there was always my little baby snake plant, which I loved with all my heart. And I killed it on accident. Alright, I'm not a plant killer. I'm not a serial plant killer. I'm not going out here, you know, slaughtering our lovelies, our lovely oxygen, life-giving beauties. It was an accident. So, do you guys remember a time when people would go, what had happened was, I thought that was so obnoxious, but now I think it's kind of funny. So let me tell you, what had happened was, I bought plant food, right? Because I was noticing that the leaves, like on my little vine plant, for the life of me, pothos, I think it's a pothos plant. I was gonna say for the life of me, I can't remember the name. It's a pothos. It was like some of the leaves, the tips were turning brown and such, and I got concerned. I was like, is my hand ashy? But it's just that it's dark on the front and light in the back, so it looks like it, but it's not, because I literally just put on lotion. It's not ash, it's just the way my hand is, okay? Anyway, before I got distracted by my not ashy hands, I was talking about my plants. So my little pothos back there, I was getting concerned because the leaves, the tips of the leaves would either turn brown or yellow, and then the leaf would wilt and die. And I was scared because I was like, what is happening? It was happening quite frequently. a specific ratio of the plant food and mix that into the gallon. I don't remember how much plant food would go into the mixture. And I didn't have a gallon because I don't drink dairy, as you guys know. I've talked about my diet multiple times. And specifically, if you're looking for it, I talked about it. I was eating crackers and rambling in a video if you wanted to go back and look, but I don't eat dairy. And so it would be easy if I, got a gallon of milk all the time, right? But I don't have that. And none of the people in my house, they consume dairy, but they always get the half gallons. So that was out of the picture. And whenever I would go to the store, I could not find anything, juice, pop, anything that was like a gallon, like a solid gallon, the container. And so I went on Amazon and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a gallon of something. But as you know, since the pandemic, the prices of everything have skyrocketed, and they have not gone down since we started this dang thing. So for an empty gallon, I kid you not, Amazon was charging me $13. And I said, you must be outside your MFing mind, alright? No, it's empty. Like, are you kidding? And it was plastic. And I could not find anything on Amazon that was an empty gallon that was worth the price. Because let's be real, an empty plastic gallon container should be like $1, alright? And I even went to there's a dollar store not too far from my house, and I went there and I couldn't find anything, and I was like, the easiest remedy would be to buy a gallon of milk and just pour out the milk. But one, that's wasteful, and I hate waste, and two, I don't want to, because I don't consume dairy, and it's not, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you do, you do you. I'm not one of those people that's like, I'm not like a Nazi plant-baster that's like, you've got to do this, you're a bad person, like whatever. Of course, I would prefer, for the animal's sake and also for the environment, that it wasn't as harmful as it is, these industries, these farming industries and such, but that's a whole nother conversation. So anyway, I just wanted to put out a disclaimer. I am not judging you based on your diet. It does not matter to me if you eat the chickens and the steaks and you drink the milk and the cheese. I don't care, alright? You're safe here. I love you. I welcome you. There's no judgment whatsoever. But because I do not consume dairy, I didn't want to give the dairy industry my money. Like, I didn't want to, because consumerism and stuff like supply and demand, I didn't want to buy this thing always say to you guys, I'm a plant mama because that's how strongly I feel about plants. I've always loved it. I remember when I was younger, like in elementary school, in the summertime, our elementary school had like we used to call it a garden because we were younger, but it was literally just like this little area out front of the school to make it look alive with plants. And in the summer, they would take us out there for recess and give us gloves, and they would assist us in planting new flowers and stuff. Or not, we don't go to school in the summer, but like, you know, when it was warm out. And I loved that so much. That actually is what sparked my passion of not just plants but gardening. I live in a townhome, so unfortunately I cannot garden, especially because we plan on moving this year. So you know, I can't start a garden, but I would love to have my own garden. Like, you don't understand. There's just something about, I don't care about dirt being under my nails. It's like, there's something about putting your bare hands, no matter how sanitary that is, in soil, in dirt, like connecting with the earth in such a raw way and assisting in the growth of something beautiful, whatever that is, whether that's like flowers or plants or food. It's just magical to me. So the fact that I am responsible for killing a plant, no matter how unintentional and accidental, like, it literally destroys me. I cried about it because I was like, they're literally my children. My plants are literally my children. Like, stop. And so, I'm gonna need somebody at this point to call Plant Protective Services on me because I literally killed, why am I literally about to cry? Stop. I literally killed one of my plants. Like, this is not okay. We're good. Yeah, somebody go ahead and dial them up. Dial Plant Protective Services and tell them they need to come and take all my other plants away because at this point, I am not a fit plant parent. You feel me? Like, oh my god, it's giving neglect, you know? It's giving neglectful AF. Like, and my knuckle just cracked doing that. So anyway, anywho, I thought I would mention that. And if you go back and look at my last video, which was the pinching and pulling all your negativity, it was pinching your negativity, your pain, your physical pain, your mental anguish, your stress and things like that. The last video, if you paid close enough attention, my plant was already dying. Like, one whole side of it was wilted over. One side was sticking up and the other side was like bent over the side of the pot. I posted that video anyway and I didn't say anything about it because I was like, it's fine, we can come, excuse me, I was like, it's fine, we can come back from this. Actually, no. I'm gonna set my mug down real quick because I want to show you guys something. So, on the dairy-free train, I just want to show you what I am drinking because I don't know about y'all, but it was so hard for me to find I'm a little scared, to be honest with you, because anyway, I can't handle it. But this, when I purchased it, I was skeptical. I was like, oh, it's coconut milk, I'm gonna hate it, but it's the only thing I can find. The first cup, I fell in love. You cannot taste even a hint of coconut in it at all. This coming from someone that strongly despises the taste. If you don't like the taste of coconut, get this if you can find it, and they sell them on Amazon. Once I found it in my local store, I typed the title in on Amazon, and they sell them there too, which is good if my store ever runs. I can't talk right now, which is good if my store ever runs out. So you can't taste it. If you're someone that loves the taste of coconut and you're getting it specifically because it's made with coconut milk, don't do it. You can't taste it at all. But I love this. There it is, 6 in a package, and I always save hot cocoa for days when I'm feeling a little like I need a little extra self-care. It's one of those things that I do when I'm needing to do something to make myself feel good. I'm setting it down, or attempting to, without making too much noise. It's one of those things I do. You know, I get a nice fuzzy blanket. I make sure my candles are lit. I either get a good book or find something that just feels nice and cozy, as far as a TV show or a movie or something, and make myself some hot cocoa and live my best life. Speaking of books, what are y'all reading? I currently am reading Denial by Lisa Renee Jones, I believe is her name. I think that's her name. And years ago, I read a series by her. This is a spin-off series of her main one, which is, I think it's called Being Me or something like that. Just type in Lisa Renee Jones. So I years ago read a series by her that was centered around a girl named Sarah, who essentially falls in love with this painter that is like a billionaire. He's a really well-known painter, artist, and there's other things to make it, you know, a little spicy, little drama. It's got smut in it, if that's your jam. I mentioned it in my self-care video I did, where there was a portion where I said how books are considered self-care to me, and then I gave you guys like a list of books that I've read that I would recommend, and I mentioned that series on there, so you can go watch that or just type in her name. But right now I'm reading the spin-off series years later. I finished the original one. Was I in high school? I don't know. The good thing about Goodreads is when I start a book, I put it on my Goodreads currently reading, and then when I finish it, obviously I put finished, and that is how I keep up with the years that I read a book, and also how I keep up with all the books that I've read, and also how I get book recommendations, because once you get done reading a book, on the side there it'll be a section that says books similar to this one or something like that, and I always read all of those if I've liked the book that I finished, and then put was borderline disgusting. First of all, it was a vampire romance, but they were saying the most disgusting things in it centered around the vampiric need for blood, and I love me a good vampire romance. Okay, I'm constantly fluctuating between paranormal romances, whether that's like anything paranormal, vampires, werewolves, witches, ghosts, demons. Like, that's my thing. I love paranormal things in books and such. I'm constantly fluctuating between paranormal romances, adult fantasy, and just plain old smut. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can never go wrong. So I picked it up. I'm like, the synopsis sounds good. It should be fine. I hated it. And I'm so disappointed because it was one of those things where you're literally reeled in by your interruption again. Okay. The fact that the book is borderline disgusting isn't even all that's wrong with it. I took this downstairs and warmed it up in the microwave because I keep having to stop filming, but it's fine. There's also the fact that the connection, the romance between the female and the male lead is shallow AF. I am not a big fan of the whole, the guy dismisses the girl when he first meets her because she's in, loungewear, and she's not, there's something specific I'm looking for, but basically she's not attractive enough, she's not put together enough, and he dismisses her. But as soon as he sees her done up, he falls in love. I don't like that trope, that in books. I hate that in books, in movies, all of that. And so when he first meets her, she's in like a baggy hoodie with some like sweatpants on, and her hair's up in a bun or whatever, and he dismisses her. It's like, even though he has a full-blown conversation with her, he's like, oh, whatever, she's a tomboy. His words, she's a tomboy. You can clearly tell that by the way she dresses. There's nothing special about her. She's unordinary. No matter how good the conversation, right? Because screw that. Who needs that? And then as soon as he sees her decked to the nines with her tight little skirt on and a button-up blouse with some of the buttons undone to show off her little thanky things. As soon as he sees her like that with some makeup on, it's like a ding, a light bulb goes off, and he's like, she's the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. I love her. I know that was a strong reaction, but I hate that. Like, you had a conversation with her long enough to where you could garner some of her personality, her intellect, get to know her a little bit. It was more than 5 minutes, and you completely dismiss her because of how she's dressed. But as soon as you see her in her work attire, because she was a teacher, you love her because she's got lipstick on and her boobs hanging out. Like, that is so shallow to me. I hate that in any sort of storyline ever. Like, don't give me that. I'll throw the whole book away. I will burn it. I don't like that. Because yes, okay, in society, most people are initially attracted to you by how you look. But it's the fact that she was in loungewear and he thought she was unordinary, so he dismissed her, even though you had a full-blown conversation with her. And you could see from the conversation that she was a cool girl. But because she doesn't look like a stripper, you don't want her. Like, no. But yes, in society, usually we're attracted to looks, most people, because while I can acknowledge that someone is physically attractive to my eyes, beauty is only skin deep. Temptation song, beauty's only skin deep. Yeah. Beauty's only skin deep. Oh yeah. I love that song. Anyway, I'm a sapiosexual, and I'm also a demisexual. For those that don't know, I'm not gonna bust out the whole definition, but in layman's terms, sapiosexual means someone that's attracted to intellect. Demisexual is someone that needs to feel an emotional bond or connection before they can be sexually stimulated by you and want to dive into a relationship. I am both of those things. Yes, you can be more than one thing, okay? I need both of them. I need the intellect and the emotion in terms of, relationships and such. And so, you could be freaking Henry Cavill, or Cavill, how do you say his last name? I don't know, you could be him, who, he's alright. I think he's attractive, but he's not like, oh my god, he's so attractive. I just mentioned him because I know all the girls go gaga for him, but you could look like him, or you could look like, who's someone I like? You could be Theo James. Oh, Theo James is, he that man. You could be Theo, you could be looking like Theo James, or Idris Elba, or Chris Evans, or whoever else in Hollywood that's attractive. And if you approach me or I approach you and we talk and there's nothing upstairs, automatically I'm like, no, I'm the sort of person where if you're attractive and I talk to you and the intellectual side is not there, you lose all attractiveness. Like, your physical appearance loses all appeal to me. I don't think you're attractive anymore. And also, flip that coin. I'm the sort of person where I could see someone that is not initially physically attractive to me. They're not classically handsome or beautiful. And when I talk to them, if there's an intellectual connection there, if we're able to converse with one another, and yes, the word is converse, don't come at me. It is not conversate. When we converse with one another, and there's that spark, there's that, oh, you can tell, like to me, meeting someone and hearing them tell me something I don't already know, or even if I know it, but they ramble on knowledgeably about something, that's hot. I love that. Sapiosexual. Alright. So you're not classically handsome or beautiful, but the intellect is there, and to me that person will then become physically attractive to me. I kid you not, that's happened to me before. I was talking to a guy at work once. He approached me, we were talking, and initially I was like, he's not really, my type. He's not someone that I would say, oh, he's attractive, right? And we were talking, and he just knew his stuff, and it was lovely, and he became the sexiest guy in that building to me. Like, it's a thing. Now, sapiosexual, me, that's the first. Am I gonna get like strikes for saying that word so much? That's the first layer for me. I have to have that intellect, and then after that, my demi kicks in, where it's like I need that emotional bond in order to move further. But anyway, initially, looks are something that people are drawn to, most people, but still, there was just something so shallow about it in that book that I was like, nah, I'm already disgusted. The connection off the bat is trash, and same on her part. Like, she saw him and was like, he's the most handsome guy because he's tall and he's got black hair. Oh my god, give me a break. So in short, I know I just rambled on about how much I didn't like the book that I can't even remember the name of, but in short, I was bamboozled. Alright, because because last year was really, really rough for me for some reason, and I usually turn to books when I'm struggling. You guys hear that? My throat. But every book that I was finding last year was garbage, and I know why. It is because my taste in men is changing as I am growing and as I am healing. You know, some of my trauma when it's surrounding relationships and men. And so the books that I was reading, all the men were so toxic. Like, I used to be a fan of the whole, the guy's a jerk to you, but secretly, like, he's in love with you, and then finally he opens up to you, and he's the most sweet, like, he's the sweetest guy ever. Now, I hate that trope. If you're a jerk to me off the rip, cut off. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't look at me. Alright? Don't talk to me. Don't acknowledge my existence, because you dang sure don't exist in my book. That is not cute. Evidence of me healing my traumas. And a lot of the books that I had on my TBR were in that sort of trope, and so I was reading them and finishing them, but hating it because I don't like DNFing books. I only do that if I just literally cannot handle anymore. So I rarely not finish a book. I just don't like leaving things incomplete. There's something about that feels really icky and yuck to me. Even if I hate it, I want to finish it. Unless, like I said, it's really, really bad. And like it's about to be detrimental to my mental health, sort of bad, that I can't finish it. So I was like suffering through books last year on my TBR, and I finally just went through it recently and like deleted a bunch of them because I'm like, this is in that trope, this is in that trope, this is in that trope. Like, get it away. I can't. So last year was really rough, and I didn't read as many books as I usually do. I usually finish out like 75 books a year, and I always do like the Goodreads little challenge thing because I think it's fun to, I bump it up because I think it's fun to challenge myself. But I went low this year with 30 books because last year was so rough, and I was like, I don't want to set the bar too high this year, and then I'm again struggling to find good books. But luckily, out of the 5 that I've read this January, out of the 5 I've read in January, only one of them was trash. So there's only a little left. I don't know how long this video is. It says I've been filming for a long time, but a lot of that was me just sitting back waiting for the heater to go off. So I don't want to make this too long, but there's also something else I want to talk about. A few things I want to talk about. Maybe if the video is too long, I can split it up into 2 parts or something. Or should I just end it? Since the hot cocoa's almost gone. I'm trying to think what I want to do. I know pretty soon I'm going to do a not what I've been watching, but like a video based on my favorite like TV shows and such, because I get asked about that a lot. And then I'm also gonna do, my heater just came on, I'm gonna talk a little bit through it, and you guys tell me if you make it this far if the heater was too loud, and that way I know in future videos to, you know, do what I do and stop filming when it comes on. But I'm gonna do like TV show ramble, and I'm gonna do a book ramble with some of my favorite books, because I did a video that I split up into 2 because it was too long. So I thought, where I was tapping on books and showing you some that I have in my collection, and I told you guys that none of those were on my current favorites list. And I got a lot of people reaching out to me like, please do a video on books that contain your favorites. So I will do that. Should I stop filming and wait for the heater to go off? Should I just end the video? Oh my god, help me. I don't know what to do. What should I do? last of it. I'm trying to set it down without it being too noisy. I kind of wanted to, I was watching in a ramble, a couple of people actually, ASMR artists that were doing rambles were like, they like watching rambles with no substance to go to sleep to, and then rambles that actually are talking about like deep topics to engage them during the day. And I get so many people on my rambles like, I love this, it's made me fall asleep, and I'm like, not that I've heard multiple ASMR artists say that, I'm like, is it because I'm lacking substance? Do I lack depth to you guys? But I know it's not because I genuinely lack depth, it's because I don't want to be too heavy on the YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are things that I like talking about, deep topics that I know can be triggering to a lot of people, and when you're putting something on a platform, you want to be as careful as you can and not upset anyone. And I don't mean controversial things like, you know, diet and stuff, but I mean like topics like, I kind of wanted to talk about the fact that I was just recently told by a therapist, not my therapist, that I have the trauma response of hyper-independence. And I wanted to dive a little bit into why I have that, because when I was told that, I did a lot of self-reflection and introspection, especially because I've been MIA for 3 weeks and I've not really been talking to people outside of my household and such. And I really dug deep to figure out where that stems from and why, you know, situations and experiences and things in my childhood that shaped me into who I am today, but that also were traumatizing, and that also, you know, gave, you know, those childhood wounds. And I wanted to talk about that. Then I'm like, should I do that? Because there are people that might not want to hear about that. Maybe all you want to hear about is my light and fluffy rambles about books and plants and my family and I, you know, having a little get together and stuff, and me relating that experience to you. Maybe that's all you want. Do you want the deeper things? You know what I mean? But that's just an example. Like, I want to start talking about stuff like that more in my rambles and such, which I've done, sprinkled, you know, I've dabbled a little bit and sprinkled stuff like that in, usually towards the end of a ramble, like now. But I always get a little anxious taking people out of it, taking people out of the equation. Like, oh, someone might not want to hear this, but I get anxious about it because I'm not too keen on opening up. And I know it seems that I share a lot, because I do, in terms of like, I did this today, me and my family did this for Christmas, blah blah. But everything I share really truly is surface level, most of it, unless I'm specifically talking about my mental health, or I am sharing you know, my opinion on things like relationships and stuff. Like I did in one video, I was talking about the importance of not stigmatizing, you know, relationships in certain aspects and such, blah blah blah. So I dabble, but I don't know, I don't even know what the point of this is. I'm kind of all over the place right now. Not that I haven't been this entire ramble, but I'm not knowing how long this video is, not sure if I should do what I had planned to do and discuss that with you guys and share what came up for me, or if I should just end it here and save it for another ramble. Let's do some mic fluffs while I try to get my head together. Let's try to do some mic fluffs while I get my head together. Let's do some mic fluffs while I get my head together. Let's do fluffs. Heater's off. So let me know how that was. Was that absolutely horrendous? that's always rambling about like the most mundane things ever. Like, I'm deep, you know what I'm saying? I'm deep, alright? But I'm so concerned about what I share for privacy reasons, but also because it's difficult doing such, you know, sharing where anyone and everyone could see it. And then I'm someone that struggles with vulnerability anyways, just my natural makeup, hyper independence. I do everything for myself by myself. I abhor asking for help. And anytime I ever open up emotionally to someone, I am monumentally embarrassed. Like if I cry in front of you, I'm so embarrassed about it. Like I don't, because I'm like, I should have been stronger, you know? Like moments of vulnerability are hard for me because I was taught growing up that vulnerability is weakness. Even though I was raised by women, all those women had that mentality. And so because of their upbringings, right? It's not their fault. But I tell you guys all the time that my folks are from the South on both sides. My mom's side of the family is from Mississippi. My dad's side is from Texas. So they have that mentality of, you know, pull up your bootstraps and do the dang thing. Like, emotions are hard. No, you don't talk about them. They don't exist. Which another ASMR artist on here talks about all the time. And I'm like, I can relate because even though I wasn't born down south, I was raised by people that have that sort of mentality because of their childhoods and upbringings. And so being taught that emotion is a weakness, vulnerability is a weakness, it's so hard for me to open up for people and let people in. And so that's another reason why I don't talk about a lot of deep things that I really would like to talk about with someone. But even in person, like not on the internet, I shy away from it because I'm like, it's not okay. I just feel like it's not okay and it's embarrassing, and I feel like it's burdensome to other people because they don't want to hear that anyway. That's how I feel, even though it might not be true. And it's unfortunate and it's sad and it's a childhood wound and a trauma response that I am trying to mature out of, that I'm trying to heal out of. But it's hard when that's all you've known your entire life. I get so many comments, it's so funny, from people that are like, you seem like you're a really strong person, and it's flattering and I love that, and I'm, you know, because that's a compliment. People have reached out to me from listening to a ramble or something, they're like, whatever reason, they're like, you seem like you're really strong and you're the rock of your family or your friend group, is that true? And I'm like, absolutely. I can very much be that person that is emotionally available for people and emotionally